Ah. Well, according to my clock, it is 7:50, which was the time that we are indeed starting this show, and I am hoping that people are finding it both on YouTube and on Facebook. In fact, if you are uh, on and you would like to leave me a message, I will be able to read these. I'm doing this through StreamYard, which is a streaming service that allows me to put it up on both YouTube and Facebook, which is very convenient for some people that are not on Facebook and for whom I very much want to be able to present a concert like this. Um, of course, as I said in my various notes about this concert, I was busy over the weekend in a wonderful project up in Norwich, Connecticut, a play that was uh, written by Mike Bailey about his own family, his Scots family, uh, that originally in Scotland was involved in the printing business, but when one of the sons moved to America, he went into textiles and into the woolen mills and such. And the uh, the story, the play's story, goes through three of the generations and takes you up to maybe three generations from now. But it really was a wonderful thing to be a part of, and I got to play a very short part and sing one song in duet with someone else. So that was just a delightful process. And so, uh, meanwhile, I was unable over the weekend because this was happening Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. On Saturday, I did have the chance to sing for young people and old people, actually, mainly older people because we would love to get younger people involved. But we did a cleanup in our neighborhood here, the greater north end of Westerly. And so I sang for some of the people doing that cleanup. And it was kind of fun because cars going by on the street would slow down and a window would roll down and a daughter would be listening out the window to what was going on and watching what we were doing, which is a great thing. And many people were thankful or, and thanked us for doing the thing we were doing. And I only hope that lots of other people did that sort of thing um, all over because it's the sort of thing one should do on Earth Day. But I was unable to do a concert like this. And I have been very much moved to do a concert now, given the latest information about well, what I call global warming. I mean, the nice term for it is climate change. Well, we're seeing lots of climate change with fires and with hurricanes and flooding and in fact rising water and all of these things are very much on my mind and are things which have been addressed by music for many years. And so I wanted to put together a concert of some of my favorite songs that might apply to this thinking and this topic. Uh, in part, it's something that I've been thinking about some of the songs that I sing, which I haven't really thought of as part of an environmental concert before. Uh, but now I'm seeing the whole phenomenon uh, of this climate crisis as being a very complex matter, not just of how we deal with the earth, but how we deal with each other. And so I've been thinking about that and thinking about the songs that I have, which I've been singing for a long time and hadn't directly related necessarily to that part of the question. Um, of course, the I have a whole set of songs that I picked up from singing with Pete Seeger and the Hudson River Sloop Singers back in the 1978 through the 80s. Uh, and a lot of those songs were wonderful songs for younger folks, trying to kind of give them an idea of uh, some of the issues, like it really isn't garbage till you mix it all together, and animals need water, people need it too. Wonderful, fun songs, and I'll be doing a bunch of that for Quaker Hill School later on in the last day of May, actually. Uh, but the songs that I want to present tonight are a little more on the serious side, let us say, and lots of ways to think about how we relate to the earth and to each other, and how complex all of that is. And given the current political climate that we're in, we know that there is great resistance to any efforts that we are making, and efforts that have been already passed in law to improve our efforts of creating more green energy and curbing our use of fossil fuel. And of course, the latest news is that Kevin McCarthy has passed his House bill, which would start to dismantle as much of that as possible. And so I feel that it's my task in some way to at least vocalize my distress at that, and my hopes that we can move in a more positive direction, and really accomplish the things that we can. We could do so much. We can in fact perhaps not stem the tide of some of the effects that are going to happen from the warming that's going on already and the kinds of effects that it's having, but we could do a lot to curb the extent of the damage that will be done. And of course, mainly I'm thinking about other generations. I'm getting along toward the latter end of my own voyage, and I'm just hoping that we, of all ages, but we who may have some more of the resources to do so, can do everything we can to leave a better world for the younger generations that are coming up. And of course, you have Greta Thunberg and so many young people active out there that are making their own cry for change, and we should be listening to them. So well, thank you, Katrina. So I know somebody's listening and has gotten onto Facebook, which is a good thing. So I can actually see your comments here. I have the way this is set up, I will be able to see whatever people say. So I think it's probably time for me to get started. And this song has been a core of any program I do on Earth Day or talking about the environment. A wonderful song written by Bob Zentz. And I recorded the first version of it. Well, Sue and Pam are here, of course, and Sharon, great. Love to see you all. And so Bob Zentz wrote the original version of the song probably not long after the first Earth Day. But then he wrote another version of it specifically for the Chesapeake later on. And he added a verse, or he wrote a verse into that version that I insert into this because it is so central. And the verse, when we get to it, is the verse that says, "We who use the earth must answer." So here's Bob Sense's "This Old Earth." Fragments of another sunset, ashes of another dawn, drowned in time's immortal ocean. All too soon we may be gone. This old earth has seen a lot of living. This old earth, the stories she could tell. This old earth is finished with a giving. This old earth we use so well. Well, the playground stands deserted in the yellow afternoon, and the cotton candy children have all gone home too soon, and the tree of knowledge trembles, for the truth was ours before. Will we be like Eden's lovers, driven from the garden door? So what will it take from nature, and what must it take from man for the future generations to save the sky, the sea, the land? This old earth has seen a lot of living. This old earth, the stories she could tell. This old earth is finished with a giving. This old earth we use so well. And we who use the earth must answer, who's to lose and who's to win. And while we're watching where we're going, we must see where we have been. Endangered species and pollution, the waste, the rubble of the dream. And while we all look for solutions, remember we all live downstream. So ask a child what really matters. Ask your friends what they will do. Ask the leaders you've elected, but it really lies with you. This old earth has seen a lot of living. This old earth we've used from end to end. This old earth is finished with a giving. This old earth could use a friend. Well, that into one from David Mallet, one of my all-time favorite songwriters, and from whom I sing a whole bunch of songs. But this one really does bring me to the point of thinking about how we relate to the earth, and my question of, or my thinking about the fact that so many people have become disconnected to the natural world. And it occurs to me that many people don't have a chance to get there in the first place because of where they grow up. They weren't blessed as I was to grow up in a place that I still can remember vividly in terms of some of my experiences in my youth. And so I, in fact, send this song out to people who haven't had that chance, perhaps. And I think about them a lot. But this certainly, I had that opportunity, and I relish and am very, very thankful for that fact. So this is David Mallet's I Knew This Place. I knew this place, knew it well, every sound and every smell. Every time I walked I fell for the first 2 years or so. There across the grassy yard, a young one running hard, brown and bruised and battle scarred and lost in sweet illusion. Through my window I can see the wind branches of an ancient tree. Reaching out it calls to me to climb its sturdy branches. But all my climbing days are done, these tired legs I'm standing on scarcely dare to leave the spot upon which they are standing. I remember every word of every voice I ever heard, every frog and every bird. Yes, this is where it starts. My brother's laugh, a sighing wind. This is where my life begins. This is where I learned to use my hands and hear my heart. This old house carries on like verses in an old-time song. Always changed but never gone. This house can stand the seasons. Life moves on from door to door. Dust across the wooden floor. Feather rain and thunder roar. And we need not know the reasons. And as these thoughts come back to me like ships across a friendly sea, breezes blowing endlessly, rivers running deep. Day is done, the lights are low, the wheels of life are turning slow. As these visions turn and go, I lay me down to sleep. I knew this place, I knew it well, every sound and every smell. Every time I walked I fell for the first 2 years or so. There across the grassy yard, I a young one running hard, brown and bruised and battle scarred and lost in sweet illusion. So I love that line about I remember every voice I ever heard, the frogs and birds and all of that. But I like to leave that song with that last line of lost in sweet illusion, because I think that is where a lot of us find ourselves, at least part of the time. And so that takes me to another one of my favorite songwriters, Steve Gillette, who wrote this song for those walkers out there. And we're going to get around to another verse that talks about you who go out walking. But this is his song called The Old Trail. And there's a new ridge road that cuts the mountain to the bone, slices through the trees like there ain't nobody home. You can wheel on up to Valley View and you wouldn't feel a climb. I'll take the old trail every time. The old trail moseys right along, moves with the speed of a sweet love song. Wind in the trees carries her own wind to chime. I'll take the old trail every time. Lately it seems we lose things by degrees. How soon we forget we make our tree houses out of trees. When we gonna realize some reasons just don't rhyme. I'll take the old trail every time. The old trail, may she never fade. One where the deer always have the right of way. How I love to watch the winter eve along the timber line. I'll take the old trail every time. People in cars let the radio do the talking, but it always seems I'm singing when I'm walking. The old trail moseys right along, moves with the speed of a sweet love song. Wind in the trees carries her own wind to chime. We take the old trail every time. I'll take the old trail every time. And so, from that line of saying, lately it seems we lose things by degrees. We are already losing numbers of things. There's certainly a desertification going on in whole regions of the world, drier and drier, and creating much more difficulty raising the crops we need to feed the world and things like that. And so a lot of years ago, Tom Paxton envisioned what it would be like after a bunch of that had happened. And the question would be, whose garden was this? Whose garden was this? It must have been lovely. Did it have flowers? I've seen pictures of flowers, and I'd love to have smelled one. Whose river was this? You say it ran freely. Blue was its color. I've seen blue in some pictures, and I'd love to have been there. Tell me again, I need to know. Forest had trees, meadows were green, oceans were blue, and birds really flew. Can you swear that was true? sky was this, or was it a blue one? Nights there were breezes, I've heard records of breezes, and you say that you felt one. Tell me again, I need to know. Forest had trees, meadows were green, oceans were blue, birds really flew. Can you swear that was true? Whose garden was this? It must have been lovely. Did it have flowers? I've seen pictures of flowers, and I'd love to have smelled one. Well, a frightening vision, but we have come to know how some of these things happen. And so here's a song from Malvina Reynolds, which she copyrighted in 1962, which was the year that Silent Spring was published. And I am virtually sure that the book prompted this song. Just a little rain falling all around, grass lifts its head to the heavenly sound. Just a little rain, just a little rain. What have they done to the rain? Just a little breeze out of the sky. Leaves pat their hands as the breeze blows by. Just a little breeze with some smoke in its eye. What have they done to the rain? Just a little boy standing in the rain, the gentle rain that falls for years. But the grass is gone, the boy disappears. Rain keeps falling like helpless tears. What have they done to the rain? What have they done to the rain? Had to be inspired by Silent Spring. And so I want to get to a couple of river songs, so to speak. The first one is from Cindy Callett, and thinking of Silent Spring and Rachel Carson. She wrote her first book actually was Under the Sea Wind, and the last chapter, the book is really bookended, so to speak, with the story of eels leaving various rivers, presumably along the east coast of the U.S., and going off to the Sargasso Sea, and then coming back, and the elvers, the little babies, are waiting offshore to come in at the right moment. And it's just such a powerful piece, and it speaks in part of the ocean reclaiming the mountains that are on the shore. So it is really quite an amazing piece, and I use it as a preface to this song in my Natural Reflections thing. But these sands roll to the river upon me. For Lloyd and the waves that still pound these shores, and it's less than a mile to sea. I climbed the high hills to search for the sea, took to the treetops in flight, saw water in valleys where blueberries once grew, some real red-tailed hawks soar out of sight, and it's rolled to the rivers that once shaped these sands, roll to the river upon me. For Lloyd and the waves that still pound these shores, and it's less than a mile to sea. I watched as the houses spread over the plain, prayed for the sea to crash in, and the reasons they gave were so righteous and so grave. Don't they know in the end no one can win? And it's roll to the rivers that once shaped these sands, roll to the river upon me. For Lloyd and the waves that still pound these shores, and it's less than a mile to sea. They call the land theirs, I call the land ours, for those who can care to walk free. How many houses can rise, how many roads can scrape through before we drive into the sea? And it's rolled to the rivers that once shaped these sands, roll to the river upon me. Fly to the waves that still pound these shores, and it's less than a mile to sea. These times come by hard, there's no need to explain. One look in your eyes and I know. We've seen the grass green and we watched the plains bare, and we've known the sand covered with snow. And it's rolled to the rivers that once shaped these sands, roll to the river upon me. Fly to the waves that still pound these shores, and we 100 mile to sea. So roll to the rivers that once shaped these sands, roll to the river upon me. Fly to the waves that still pound these shores, and it's less than a mile to sea. A wonderful song that was really written from her living on Martha's Vineyard. And there's one more verse that she wrote, and I don't sing because it's very specific to Martha's Vineyard and I think quite personal to her. But the rest of that song to me speaks volumes about how we are approaching our own buildup of the environment or over the environment. But I wanted, this is a lot of serious stuff, so I decided I'd better stick in one piece that would be a little lighter, a little more fun. So Mark Graham out Seattle way has written a bunch of rather wonderful comedic songs, funny songs, but generally with a point. And this one certainly has that. When I sit in contemplation of the human situation, I often feel a certain sense of pride. Our achievements are many and mighty, and the evidence cannot be denied. But my reverie is shaken, for my thoughts are often taken to a tragedy that happened long ago, when there roamed through this land beings awesome and grand, the fabulous dinosaurs. They were creatures of a manner quite reptilian in their unique and stylish way, and their numbers could be counted in the millions, though there's zero of these heroes in the world today. They had music, art, and fashion, they had dinosauric passion, and I think they'd be enraged and mortified that when they're mentioned today, it's only to say their brains were small and they died. Wah 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 wah. Their brains were small and they died. Now perhaps some asteroid that Mother Earth could not avoid became the agent of their premature demise. Well, I know that these things can happen, but who are we to criticize? When we'll pay most any price to have the ultimate device that ensures the perfect global suicide. I would venture instead that the humanoid head is where the finer, tinier brain resides. And when we're gone, our works begin to crumble until nothing can be found. In 10 million years, some other guys will stumble on some fossils, and some fellow will begin to expound in a scientific study to his cockroach science buddies that the evidence cannot be denied. They were big, dumb, and slow, they couldn't go with the flow. Their brains were small and they died. Wah 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 wah. Their brains were small and they died. Well, indeed, we may prove ourselves to the point of doing ourselves in, but let's see what else we can talk about in terms of maybe finding our way out. Here's a wonderful song from Dean Stevens from when he toured on the West Coast and spent a good deal of time in the Columbia River Valley. Was thinking about the salmon that had been able to go up the Columbia to the Snake River and then to the Salmon River all the way into Idaho. And now there is a movement to take 4 dams out of the Snake River that would allow that to happen again. And it would be a great boon to a lot of things, including, of course, the Native American people that live along that river. Cry a song, shed a tear for a Northwest salmon, sockeye streak of muscle brawn, steel-headed will, swimming, saltwater, freshwater, feast or famine, their battle is uphill. Cast a When I wander on a river fast and long, it is a highway, a maiden voyage, a swan song. Feel the force that against the rippling waters flow as the fish on a survival death journey go. Salmon River winds its way through Idaho, sparkles as it runs and it glistens as it flows. Many rapids bubbling down cry a last farewell. Where the sockeye will go now, no tongue can tell. It is a sad song in the crystal waters flow. Where have my salmon gone? The river wants to know. When the spring came, salmon gave the river its name, shimmering salmon. One day no more came. Say your prayer with the Indian who came here to give thanks for this bounty, this feast. Fill the river bank to bank for this life-giving dance of 10,000 years, cut short by the plans of a corps of engineers. Say your many angry words at an arrogant race. Gotta grab all the land, all the water, all the space. Got to take, got to make, got to get, got to plunder. Gotta chop it up, gotta dam it up, got to plow it all under. Swim upstream 1,000 miles just to spawn a helpless lie. Young ones being born around the old ones spent will die. In this never-ending circle of a life-giving dance, stand with me before this miracle. To the sockeye stand a chance. For the salmon's journey, is it a first or a last journey? From the Salmon River to the Snake, to the Columbia River, to the cold dark Pacific, this teeming life delivered, if not swallowed in the nets of the toxic grip, they'll be following that scent on a never-ending trip, if not taken in the drift nets. The factory ships through the krill-laden Arctic waters they'll slip, if not slaughtered for the worth of their bright orange roe. Back to the waters of their birth, salmon doggedly go. Back to the dams the electric ratepayers built, back to the cascade clear-cut river turned to silt, against the current of water, against the current of time, against the got to get yours, got to go get mine, against the plenty of blame to go around, against the river so tamed that you cannot hear the sound of the salmon's journey. Is it a last journey? Salmon River winds its way through Idaho, sparkles as it runs and it glistens as it flows. Many rapids bubbling down cry a last farewell. Where the sockeye will go now, no tongue can tell. It is a sad song in the the crystal waters flow. Where have my salmon gone? The river wants to know. When the spring came, salmon gave the river its name. Shimmering salmon, one day no more Well, from that, I think I'll go to this Pete Seeger song that, well, I always thought of this as having its environmental message, but it also covers lots of other ground, and it really does talk to what I began with, the idea that this is such a complex question, and so this song is addressing different elements of our relationship with each other, and all of that. And of course, the first song that I sang, This Old Earth, talks about the schoolyard being empty, and the tree of knowledge shows up in there. And this song takes us to Adam and Eve. So in some way we're kind of coming around in circles. And circles might be important to our way of addressing all of this. So this is Letter to Eve. Oh, Eve, where is Adam? Now you're kicked out of the garden. Oh, Eve, where is Adam? Now you're kicked out of the garden. Roaming around from shore to shore, now you find that there's no more. Oh, Parchmenteris Mirashante Salam Hewa. And I guess I ought to teach you the chorus if you don't know it already. Oh, Parchmenteris Mirashante Shanti Salam Hewa. 5 ways of saying peace on earth, 5 different languages. And so do join in on that. Oh, Parchmenteris Mirashante Salam Hewa. The Mir is Russian. The Shanti, of course, for the Indian nation. And Salam for all of the Arabian world out there. Oh, Parchmenteris Mirashanti Salam Hewa. Don't you wish love, only love, could save this world from disaster? Oh, love, only love, save this world from disaster. Don't you wish love could end the confusion, or would that just be one more illusion? Oh, Parchmenteris Mirashanti Salam Hewa. If you want to have great love, you better have great anger. If you want to have great love, you better have great anger. When I see innocent folk shot down, you just want me to turn my head and frown. No, Parchmenteris Mirashanti Salam Hewa. If you want to hit the target square, you better not have blind anger. If you want to hit the target square, you better not have blind anger, or that'll be one more time the solution creates another crime. Oh, Parchmenteris Mirashanti Salam Hewa. Oh, if music could only bring peace, I'd only be a musician. If music could only bring peace, I'd only be a musician. If songs could really ease the pain, if melodies could really break these chains. Oh, Parchmenteris Mirashanti Salam Hewa. Oh, Eve, go tell Adam we gotta build a new garden. Oh, Eve, go tell Adam we gotta build a new garden. Gotta get a working on a building a new world for all God's children. Oh, Parchmenteris Mirashanti Salam Hewa. Oh, Eve, you tell Adam next time that he asks you. Oh, Eve, you tell Adam next time that he asks you. He'll say, baby, it's hot outside. What's the password to come inside? You say, oh, Parchmenteris Mirashanti Salam Hewa. Sing that again. I hope you're singing along. Oh, Parchmenteris Mirashanti Salam Hewa. Oh, Parchmenteris Mirashanti Salam Hewa. 4,000 languages in this world means the same thing to every boy and girl. Oh, Parchmenteris Mirashanti Salam Hewa. Oh, Parchmenteris Mirashanti Salam Hewa. There's one actually remarkable recording of that at the Bottom Line in New York, in combination with Roger McGuinn, in a project where they put more veteran folk singers with younger folk singers and had them trade off a concert. It was really fascinating. But also, the way Pete wrote that, originally, Adam is saying, it's cold outside. And I changed that to it's hot outside, because that's more what we're dealing with now. And so just seems more fitting to me. Well, let's try. A song from Jay Mankita, and then added onto by Magpie. And I know that Jay suggested that it was a little bit unnecessary to add another verse, which really changed the message of the song, but it very much makes it fit into what I'm talking about tonight, because here you're going to hear about these various aspects of humans relating to each other, and then humans relating to Mother Earth. If all the world were peaceful now, and forevermore, peaceful at the surface and peaceful at the core, then all the joy within my heart would be so free to soar, and we're living on a living planet, circling a living star. I don't know where we're going, but I know we're going far. And we can change the universe by being who we are. And we're living on a living planet, circling a living star. If all the world knew freedom now and forevermore, freedom at the surface and freedom at the core, then all the joy within my heart would be so free to soar. And we're living on a living planet, circling a living star. I don't know where we're going, but I know we're going far. And we can change the universe by being who we are. And we're living on a living planet, circling a living star. If all the world knew justice now and forevermore, justice at the surface and justice at the core, then all the joy within my heart would be so free to soar. And we're living on a living planet, circling a living star. I don't know where we're going, but I know we're going far. And we can change the universe by being who we are. And we're living on a living planet, circling a living star. If Mother Earth were honored now and forevermore, honored at the surface and honored at the core, then all the joy within my heart would be so free to soar. And we're living on a living planet, circling a living star. I don't know where we're going, but I know we've gone too far. And we can heal this planet by changing the way we are. We can heal this living planet. So if we did have freedom and justice throughout the world and peace, well, that would give us the chance to not do ourselves in, I guess. So I'm actually wearing a Clearwater t-shirt from 1993, back in the years when I would be going to all of the revivals, the Hudson River Revival, and singing with the Sloop Singers in those days, and with Pete. And I also had the wonderful chance to, on 3 different occasions, go on the pumpkin sale on the Clearwater, which took you on 5 days of a 15-day trip from Albany down to New York City in October, leading up to Halloween. And we would actually, the vessel had railings built around it, so that we could put 10 tons of pumpkins on the boat and then sell them to school kids who would come and by the busloads to different stops along the way. And what an incredible experience, first of all, just doing that. But instead of the regular just crew on board, they accommodated 6 crew and 6 performers, often a storyteller, maybe a puppeteer, and several musicians. And it was through that I got to meet some incredible people along the way, some of my favorite songwriters. And also I had the delightful chance to do that with my wife Penny on one occasion. But it was at the end of one of those pumpkin sales that I ended up in New York, and the last leg of the trip, and ended up in Brooklyn, which was where Penny was living at the time. We didn't know each other until that day when she came and offered showers to the crew, because there's no showers on the Clearwater. And that's how I met Penny. And the rest is history. But we very quickly found out that we both had a connection to and a passion for the message of the Clearwater. She had done a volunteer week on the Clearwater and just fell in love with the people and the message. And along the way, one of the songwriters that I met through all of that was Laurie Wyatt. And on that lower leg of the trip, or whenever he might sail on the vessel out of, let's say, the Bronx, he was finding that there were lots of Spanish-speaking kids who, for whom he wanted to give a song, a chorus that they could join in on. And so he wrote Somos el barco, somos el mar, yo navego en ti, tu navegas en mí. We are the boat, we are the sea. I sail in you, you sail in me. So let me finish with this, and I hope you're out there singing along. Of course, it's wonderful when we are together and I can hear all of your voices, but I'm just trusting that they're out there ringing out. And I thank you so much for joining me tonight and giving me the chance to express my feelings about all of this question of how we relate to the earth. So here we go with Somos el barco. Somos el barco, somos el mar, yo navego en ti, tú navegas en mí. We are the boat, we are the sea, I sail in you, you sail in me. Sing that the next time it comes around. Oh, the stream sings it to the river sings it to the sea sings it to the boat that carries you and me. Somos el barco, somos el mar, yo navego en ti, tú navegas en mí. We are the boat, we are the sea, I sail in you, you sail in me. The boat we are sailing on was built by many hands, and the sea we are sailing on, it touches every strand. Somos el barco, somos el mar, yo navego en ti, tú navegas en mí. We are the boat, we are the sea, I sail in you, you sail in me. The voyage has been long and hard, and yet we're sailing still with together if we only will. Somos el barco, somos el mar. Yo navego en ti, tú navegas en mí. We are the boat, we are the sea. I sail in you, you sail in me. With our hopes we raise the sail to catch the wind once more, and with our hearts we chart the waters never sailed before. Somos el barco, somos el mar. Yo navego en ti, tú navegas en mí. We are the boat, we are the sea. I sail in you, you sail in me. Somos el barco, somos el mar. Yo navego en ti, tú navegas en mí. We are the boat, we are the sea. I sail in you, you sail in me. Well, I think that by singing together and working together and carrying on as best we can raise that sail in hopes to catch the wind, and we can work together to do all we need to do to make this world livable for the rest of our lives and for the generations that are coming and have yet to come. There's so much that needs to be done. So I thank you all for joining me, and hope that this has been, well, challenging but uplifting, and a good message about how we relate to Mother Earth. So I guess I will conclude, and I will end the broadcast, but I thank the twins for joining me, and others, Eve Cassie Reeves from the West Coast, and others who have joined in. And I look forward to the next time we get together in person. Thank you so much, and good night. Of course, I have to get this to agree that it's going to end the broadcast.